already know what this is. Hollow tip don't need an introduction. It just arrived. Woke up with the Draco. Hey, hey, woke up with the Draco and the bad one in my sheets. Stepped outside the crib, whole squad already deep in the streets. 30 in my waistband, sitting heavy on the crease of my jeans. Niggas talking real loud on the internet, but silent in the field. That's the difference between us. I don't post what's real. I just move and let that hollow tips articulate how I feel. Hey, she said, baby, slow down. I said, shit don't slow down for me. Check the trap phone, count it up, pull the 4 in the lane. 2 bad bitches in the kitchen acting like they own everything. That's fine, long as they understand the pole owns everything too. Any nigga stepping wrong gets a real up close interview with the drawing 30 rounds of curriculum. Class is through. Been moving through the city like a cold front in July. Everything I touch go numb, that's just the way that I provide. Hollow tips and 100 bands, that's the only double life I live. Every I've been breathing wrong, running out of shit to give. Hollow tips, no warning shots. Bad bitch in the foreign, spending everything I got. Niggas flexing on the grid, but they be scared of the block. 808, not so hard to shake their hands off the clock. Hollow tip, that's the only language real. Only one. Draco tucked beside me, that just how the shit feel. She don't have no questions, cause she know what I can see her. Hollow tips, every day, don't get paid in full. Should be moving fast, barely caught my breath when the last one dropped and I was already on to the next. Counted up a band before I even brushed my teeth. Had the phone running while she still tangled in the sheets. Perk got her floating somewhere between here and the ceiling. 2 phones ringing, one's the bag and one's a different feeling. She been loyal through the drought, so I make sure she dealing with nothing less and everything. That's just what I'm built on. Don't trust a nigga that I didn't grow up grinding with. Smile in your face and dial your location, that's the shit that gets real niggas gone. Seen it happen twice before I turned 25. Every morning I'm alive as a referendum on survive. In the city that'll swallow you and never even birth. Came up through the mud and somehow turned it into work. Every hollow tip I carry was a conversation with the hurt. Now the conversation over, that's the beauty in the work. Hollow tips, no warning shots. That bitch in the foreign, spending everything I got. Niggas flexing on the gram, but they been scared of the block. 808, not so hard to shake their hands off the clock. Hollow tips, that's the only language real. Only one. Draco tucked beside me, it's just how the shit feel. She don't have no questions, cause she know what I can see her. Hollow tips, every dick gon' get paid in full. 3 a.m. in the city, finally quiet enough to think. Hold the last of the wop. Watched it, settle in the cup. Thought about every hollow tip I dodged that had my name on it. Thought about the ones that didn't dodge. Thought about how thin the margin is between here and the casket. Thought about it sleeping in the other room, not knowing any of that. And I decided, as long as I'm the last man moving, she gon' be good. That's the only promise that matters. Everything else is just hollow tips and hollow nights. And how you choose to fill the space between the two. She woke up, saw the look on my face, said, "You good?" Said, "Always." That's the only answer understood. Hey, in the house with 36 beside the bedroom door. In the safe got more in it than the whole family saw. In 20 years combined, that ain't bragging, that's the math of what it cost to turn the concrete in the aftermath. That's livable, actually, something you can hold. Not just survival, build it, sign and watch it unfold. Every hollow tip a chapter, every day whole fucking book of my age. And I ain't even 40, shit just started getting clearer. Every morning I wake up the version in the mirror, getting closer to the one I promised in the dark. Hollow tips got me here, hollow tips and earth. That's the heart of everything. Don't need a sermon, don't need a scripture read. Hollow tips and earth beside me, that's my only